Yo, how's it going? So for today's video, I just wanted to basically do like a feedback video or more like a review video of the Tekken 8 CBT that I've gone through. Now, as you already know, have you seen me play, that the character that I chose was Nina. So I have a list of points that I want to get across in the video that has to do with some of the systems in game, how I feel about them, how they essentially work, what can they do to change them, if I have any concerns of what needs to be changed, or if they are great as to how they are already. Also the heat system, we'll be talking about that as well in depth, and Nina as well. Like, I'm not a Nina main, I don't know frames like some influencers do know, like how pro esports Tekken players, how they may know them. But I do know that some of the things that Nina has in Tekken 7 has drastically changed, or just changed slightly in Tekken 8 to, in my opinion, for the better, really. And in some cases, some Nina players may disagree and they may not like some of the overall changes that she has, but she has a lot of good changes over the bad changes that they have made in Tekken 8 Nina. So let's just go into some of the systems in place, and then we'll go into Nina. Now, of course, in the background here, you're just going to be looking at Nina and Anna. They're going to be doing nothing. I should probably have gameplay just showcase so you guys don't feel bored just watching this blank, these two characters just looking at each other. But, I just want to get this over with so we can just explain the overall review of Tekken 8. So let's go into the systems first, and then we go into the characters. Or in this case, just Nina specifically, because I don't know everybody else in the CBT. So for the gameplay systems, let's go into one by one. I have actually a list here that we can essentially go on to. And I'll scroll down one by one to showcase what is exactly the topic at hand, okay? So right here. So first, the gameplay systems, right? The health system in general, a lot of people may not like what they've done in Tekken 8. So, as you already know, if you're trying to target the enemy and hit them with any of your moves, they lose a bit of health, right? But some moves or some situations can lead into white chip health. Let's say, for example, if Nina in this game were to, let's say, I don't know, she does one of her combos, does something like that, whatever, right? If they lose the health from said combo, they don't lose it all completely from the combo. They actually may lose the damage overall, but they will have a little bit of white chip health. So this means that if they were to retaliate again in the fight, they can actually regain back that white chip health. They still lose some health. That's raw damage health that they lose. But they would also gain some of that white chip as well, or just white health. And that white health can be regained by simply attacking the opponent. Or if, let's say, for example, which I will go into in depth in the video, there's a different format that you can also gain back health immediately without not having to attack the opponent, which I think you still do kind of have to hit them. I don't know, I really didn't do a thorough test to see whether or not that's true, but I will go into it in the notepad. So that's one thing that people may not seem to like. They don't like the idea that you can chip out the target with any of your moves, really. It's why people hated the fact in the CNT that people can just simply spam moves while in the heat state and just nail them with these spammable moves, and they just lose so much chipped health, and they have so much white health. And if they get hit, then they lose all the health that they basically have gained in the form of white health. So it's why they don't like the entire health system. My opinion, though, I actually do like it. I actually like the idea that there's a format of a comeback where if you were to retaliate onto the opponent and you didn't get hit by the spammable moves, or if you didn't get hit by whatever move they hit you with right after the leftover white health, that you're able to retaliate and gain back some of that health. So I do like that aspect of the game, just that the way they're handling it with some of the characters that can easily spam you while in the heat state is a little bit too much. so they might have to dial it down so that way it doesn't seem all that impressive when the release of the game comes out. So that's one thing. Which, funny enough, goes into the next topic, which is the chip health, right? So the fact of the matter is that people don't like the chip health. They don't like it. I, for one, find that there's nothing wrong with the chip health. I don't really see it as that big of a deal in the format that it is in now. It could easily be, again, dialed down, and that's really all they need to do to improve on it, really, so that people don't get too upset. So if we go into the next one, health gain. So with the health gain, by simply attacking the opponent, with the ability to go into your heat state and gain back some health that way as well. So just what I wanted to also go into, that you can also gain back health once you enter in your heat state, or if you heat burst. If you heat burst the target, you can gain back the health back. In fact, if you do a heat engager, you can gain all that back as well. I believe that's how it worked in the Tekken 8 CBT when I managed to do it a few times. And I saw that I actually gained back the health while I did a heat engager. Now, I'm not too familiar with whether or not it worked while doing the heat state manually, or if you just go into your heat burst. And you can also get it from doing your heat smash. So there's that. Now, here's something that I didn't really know until I saw Main Man's video. Main Man Sweep, specifically. Health sweeps in the game also give out white health. So I don't know the exact properties of the interactions with the gameplay systems in the game, like the combat systems. I don't know whether or not that the only possibility of getting white health back is only when you combo somebody in game, because there is a way that you can gain back white health, or should I say you gain white health, and you can then heal the white health that you lost into full health, if that makes sense, right? So health sweeps are not just simply health sweeps, they are considered to be launchers. So I'm guessing from what Main Man's Sweep's video, what he was basically indicating is that launchers into full combos give some form of white health. Health sweeps do the same thing, so they're considered to be launchers, not just regular health sweeps. So health sweeps give you white health, not the full damage. So that's one thing that I gotta say I actually really like, because I hate health sweeps. I already mentioned this, that combos give white health, not the full damage, so you can actually regain back of your health when you attack the opponent. And then we move on to the combat system. So this thing here has been talked about on Twitter a lot. They don't like the fact that some characters can now easily jail you. And one of the aforementioned topics that I saw on Twitter was that, for example, VDX, he's a well-known pro Tekken player, right? And he has demonstrated in a tweet where he states, actually, let me find it for you guys. So you saw essentially that you can do the down 4-4 from Harang's moveset, and even if it hits you, if it's not a counter that is, it doesn't launch. But even if you get hit, or if you were to block the incoming down 4, the second hit, the 4 that comes right after, the follow-up, it can't be ducked. It jails you immediately. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to talk about in the topics, that some characters in the game can easily jail you now. So if you were to try to duck them, or sidestep them, if they can be sidestepped, you can't do that anymore, and at least from some characters that just immediately jail you in the game. So that's in my opinion, that's a negative, because if you're somebody who already has some level of legacy knowledge, and a character like, let's say, Harang does down 4-4, and you end up ducking the last hit, but for some reason you don't get the duck, it just jails you immediately, that to me is a negative. That needs to be reverted. That needs to be changed in Tekken 8. Unless that's what they're going for, to change some of the moves in the game that weren't really all that utilized at the highest level, that is. And now they can be used to do something like this to jail you. I can understand maybe that's what they're looking for, but if not, then I don't see this as a good thing. because this means that a lot of characters may have this as well. They can just easily jail you. Into the spammable moves are 2+ and chip a lot. I don't know if I'm writing too correctly here. So if you already have come across players that can just spam their moves at you, for example, Nina can spam her kiss shots. Her kiss shots. I'm not saying that correctly. Her kiss shots. When she whips out her pistols and she starts shooting at you, she can spam that from range in Tekken 8. She can spam that and just continuously spam that as much as she wants, and she can chip you out at range. So I can see this being a big thing that players are going to dislike a lot, and that goes back into the whole health system. If the fact that a lot of moves in the game can just chip you, every move in particular can chip you, but the fact that it can chip you out for a certain amount, that needs to be fixed. That needs to be looked into. Because if she can go into, let's say, because she can do her kiss shots from doing her wall standing 1 or her quarter circle forward neutral 1, and I believe she had a new move too where I think it was from her 2-1-2. Goes into I think it's 2-1-1+2. I could be lying here. I don't know if I'm completely correct. Somebody can either tell me in the comment section if they have played Nina during the CBT. But she has a new link where she can go into her kiss shots from a 1-2 or if it was from a 2-1 press. So she has that, and she can do it from her new move, her back 3+4 into 1+2. Goes into the kiss shots, and if I'm correct, oh yeah, her heat smash does it as well, which is only from the heat smash. So once you use it up, you can't really do it again. And I'm trying to figure out if she has another one, but I think that's the only ones that I can remember specifically that she can easily do. And of course, she can also go into her wall standing 1 from this, so she can do that and then go into 1+2, and it has a lot of push block, so it kind of resets neutral when that happens. The one thing I don't know if the move can be blocked if it jails you or anything like that. That I have not tested during the CBT, but if not and it can be ducked, then okay, it won't be much of a problem. Then into the heat system, let's go into this fact here. So I think I already mentioned this, that in the heat system, if you go into heat burst, or let's say if you were to go into your heat engagers and you hit the target with it and you have white chip health, you can actually gain all of that back. Not just like a bit of it, I'm talking about all of it. You gain all of that white health back. If you go into heat engager, I don't know if you go into it if you use your heat smash or if you just enter in the heat state. I'm not too sure. I didn't really test this well enough, but what I do know from one gameplay showcase when I was going to the CBT, that when I went and did forward 1+2 and it went into the heat engager, I had white chip health, and it regained all other white chip health that I basically lost and gained it back to full health. So that to me is not really a bad thing. I actually like that a whole lot, because this kind of shows you that what they're trying to go for with the heat system. They want you to go into heat state and gain back the health that you may have lost if they spam moves at you or whatever, or if you block so many moves and you got hit by them, by some combos, and you get a little bit of white health back, then you can use the heat system to your advantage to gain back the health that you have lost, at least the white health that you've lost. This is one big thing for me: heat dashes. I don't know if you guys have particularly felt like the heat dash was any good, that was utilized all that well. I mean, some players have figured out some combos you can do with the heat dash that looks really dope and has some practical uses, I guess, but from my experience, I didn't really see the heat dash being all that useful. Like in the C&T, you can use heat dash and practically use it in combos to extend them and deal more damage. Now it's like heat dashes right after from a bound are useless. The most you can get out of them is maybe like this move here if I were to showcase it. If let's say I were to use like her heat engager 1+2, that goes into the running and whatever, right? And goes into the heat dash. The most you can get out of it is this. That's what you can probably get from the heat dash. But surely this move is definitely your other option you can go for while they're already fully knocked down. So that's the thing that I don't think is very... it's not as applicable as you would think. Because now it's like you only really can use the heat dash either right after... or should I say not right after, like before you bound a target. So if you didn't bound a target by tail spinning them and whatever, if you didn't do that from a combo, then yes, heat dashes are still have some practical use, but this means that you have to change your entire way of how you would combo. Instead of like, you know, you go into your combo, you do the bound, you go into heat burst, and then go into a heat dash move, and then you can then bound bound again. I don't know if you can. I don't know if the CNT you can bound again. I wasn't really sure, but at least you can go for some small combos. The whole premise of the heat dash doesn't seem to be all that practical. Besides using it right from the get-go, like if you go into heat burst, you should already go into your heat dash. But you see, that kind of defeats the purpose, because then you can't really use the heat gauge to your advantage. You can't use the heat gauge to try to go for your what I like to call your EX moves. Like she has her back 1+2 in heat stage. She goes into her kiss shots to get more damage. She can go into her down back 1+2, and it also goes into her kiss shots, dealing more damage. If she does any of her wall rising 1 butterfly things, right, and go into 1+2, she can also deal more damage. Basically, all of her pistol shots have extended damage. If you end up using your heat dash right out from the beginning of a combo, like you use your heat burst, then you go into your heat dash, you just used up all your opportunities to really use your heat gauge to your best you know, knowledge. Like you're trying to utilize it to really use that opportunity to deal enough mix-up or deal more damage. So that's what I mean, that heat dash is practically useless, other than just to be used as an extender like it was in the CNT. But now it doesn't even function that way either. So I rather prefer that the heat dash was reverted back to the CNT, in my opinion. People dislike the fact that you can do long combos, but I mean, for real, let's be real here. Tekken 7 has long combos. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 had long combos, really long combos. So why is it such a problem now that Tekken 8 has long combos if you use heat dash, right? Why is that such a negative thing? It can only be done while you're in heat state. You can't do it out of heat state. So I rather prefer that they just revert it back to where the CNT, where you can do the heat dash from doing your bound into heat burst into whatever and dealing more damage from there. There was nothing wrong with that. So I don't know. They may decide not to do that. They may just keep it the way it is now in the CBT, which is not a problem. Just that, again, like I'm saying, what real use does heat dash have other than to extend combos or to be used defensively for more plus frames and for more mix-up? Now you won't do that if you just end up using heat dash and then completely removing your heat state. You get what I'm saying? So that's not really a good thing. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Other than plus frames, I said plus frames. Whatever. Character changes. Now I'm not gonna talk about any other character besides Nina. So just Nina changes only. Let's go into the fact that she has easier combo options. So I will show you. So again, you won't be just looking at a blank canvas of just Nina and Anna on the screen and this, you know, notepad. So just to relatively showcase the things that are easier to do in Tekken 8 other than in Tekken 7. For example, her back 1+4 now bounds. It can still do the same properties where you can launch him in the air all the way high up and then you can then combo from there as well. But now that move bounds. So if you were to, let's say, do this, you can do that right after. I just messed up. And I messed up again. I hate it. This is basically the YouTube curse that people talk about. You can do that and bound. In this game, in Tekken 7, Nina doesn't really have a type of particular launcher you can use from that combo string that I just did. She can do something, of course, but she gotta do the butterfly. And it's super hard to do this particular combo, this particular staple with Nina. So she can do that in Tekken 8. So she has a way to bound the target from there. Another thing that you can try doing is, if I don't mess up, that's weird. I did it now. This combo right there that I just did, first try I got the hit, second try I didn't. You gotta time it right in Tekken 7 to get this, right? Now, it doesn't really have other properties besides that, I can't really say, but you can do that in Tekken 8, but it seems easier to do for some reason. So that's one thing I can say, that combos feel easier. It seems that they're not as tight as it is in Tekken 7. This move here, bounds. In Tekken 8, the move is basically just simply doing raw 1+2. But in this game, you can't do 1+2 the way it does in Tekken 8. But you can do a launch, go into 1+2, it doesn't launch. Or should I say, it doesn't bound. In Tekken 8, it does in Tekken 7. This move here is the same move in Tekken 8, just that it's in the 1+2 command inputs. It doesn't bound, but you can then extend the combo from there and do, let's say, down forward 3-2 into whatever you want to do right after. So it's a little easier, you do a little bit more damage as well if you do it that way in Tekken 8, at least from what I figured out. Now, other than that, there are other easier options that they have given her. Like, again, she can use her back 3+4 into 4, can also bound as well. She has her back 1-4 in this version of the game. She doesn't bound. But in Tekken 8 it does bound. So a lot of the combos that I went for was simply doing something like this. And then it would bound. But in this version it doesn't do that. So you don't have that in Tekken 7, but you do have that in Tekken 8. That is not really a big deal, because she does have... Okay. She has this at least. Right? So she doesn't have to use that. And if you know how to butterfly loop... There we go. If you can do that, then yeah, it's not that big of a deal, really. But, you know, I still feel like it's nice that the fact that you can go for back 1 into 4, gives you the bound, or you can just simply go into this and get your bound from there as well in Tekken 8. Now, her ducking, I think it's called ducking, and her back sway 4, which is this, that bounds now. It doesn't launch. Not anymore. On hit or on counter hit, it just bounds. So doing this just bounds. But what I can say is that her ducking, she doesn't have that move. So if you want to do ducking into 4, it doesn't do the move. It doesn't do this move. And you can do it from also... Sorry. As you see, I get that instead. I don't get the sway 4. You can get that in Tekken 8. So they basically made it so that a little easier, I would say, to where she can go into her move like this and bound the target if she wants to bound them. So it's like another way, another format that you can go into to bound the target. Though I still prefer to go into this into back 1 into 4 for the bound. But if you want to, you can also go for that one if, you know, if Nina has it, which she doesn't really have it, so you can go for that instead. So depends on which combo route you want to really want to be going for in Tekken 8. And I can't really say that the combo routes that I'm going for is her actual staples in Tekken 8, but these are the ones that I found that deal the most damage. Now this here, this is beyond the biggest change that I feel that they have done to Nina, which is a big positive that I found out, and I believe anybody who has played Nina has found out, that her command grabs are super easy to do. super easy to do. Like the follow-up sequences of the grabs are super easy to do. So for example, her 1+3 is this, right? That's her 1+3. And her 2+4, damn it, is that, right? Instead of having those kinds of grabs, she instead has now, which is, it looks somewhat similar to these command grabs. From what I can tell, this command grab is essentially her 2+4, I think. And her cross circle forward 1+2 is her 1+4 grab. And to do her sequence grab or her follow-up grabs that come into play from her command grab in Tekken 7 is this. If I can remember correctly, it was... yeah, so quarter circle forward 1+2 into 3-4-3 1+2. Does that. In Tekken 8, do you want to know what the command inputs are for to do the follow-up command grab that I just did? You press 1 to do that. Or you do the same command, right? The same command throw. Or circle forward, 1+2, and you do 2, 3, 4, 2, 2. I did another 2 there because I was trying to spam it. And you can get that command grab. You know how you get that one? By simply pressing 2. You just press 2, and that command grab comes out. So they super simplified how to do command grabs with Nina. I don't know if it's the same thing with other characters. I hope that it is. Like, even though I hate King, for example, I hate King when he does his command grabs because I always have to figure out what the frick is the... trying to be YouTube friendly here. To do her... not her, his cheat code inputs. I call them cheat code inputs. Whenever he does his command throw sequences. You try to go for your spreadsheet and figure out which particular type of sequence you want to go for and do the cheat code there. I hope that even though I hate King and I hate his command grabs and have to figure out what button I had to press to break the grab, that it's the same thing with Nina, that you just press either 1 or 2 or whatever. Or maybe it's something simple like 1-2 or 2-1 or 1-2 1+2 or 1 into 1+2, something like that, right? I would like that for King. I haven't tested King in Tekken 8, so I don't really know whether or not that's the case. If it is the case, I think this is a huge positive for command grabs. I know people won't like it because they will then say, oh, they're dumbing down the game, they're simplifying it too much, blah blah blah. I give two bits. I want to say the S word. Whether I don't know. I think you can say shit. I give 2 shits whether or not they are gonna cry about the fact that they're simplifying something in the game that was already such a gatekeep in terms of player knowledge in the game in the first place. Because this game is already hard as it is to get into, and they're trying to simplify it, and now players that I know for a fact are gonna complain that command grabs are super easy to do in the game. So I don't find that to be a negative thing. That's a huge positive in my opinion. And it's not just that. This is not the only good thing about Nina. When she does any of her ducking, like let's say she does like, let's say, down forward 1-2 into ducking, or her down forward 3-2 into ducking, and you try to go into, let's say, 1+3, she doesn't do it in Tekken 7. She gets her, by accident I end up getting this instead, her wall rising or wall standing 1, right? Wall standing 1. But in Tekken 8, you can actually cancel out of her ducking into her 1+3, so that it can go into your command throw sequences from there. And not just that, you can also do it like, let's say you can go into, you can already do that in Tekken 7, like it already cancels out into your 1+2, but you can do it also in Tekken 8. but with the fact that you can just press 1 or 2 to go into the sequence. So you don't have to do your cheat code commands to go for your follow-up command throw. So that's nice. It also seems to be easier to do, let's say for example, this command grab as well. So you can do that one if you want to do that one, or if you want to do this one. I did it really late here. But the reason why I did it late is because it actually doesn't cancel out. It just does this one. So you can actually go into your up forward 1+2 while you're ducking from one of your links. They've massively oversimplified the command grabs for Nina, and I hope it's the case for every other character in the game as well, because this easily makes command grabs fun to do in the game. It will be annoying to break them, yes, it will still be stupidly annoying, especially in Tekken 8, where if the person were to attack you, and you manage to grab them midway of them trying to attack you. So now it's a counter throw that you're using, and counter throws, from what I've been told, are like 5 frames to break them. I think it was 5 frames. They're 5 frames to break them, which is almost impossible to do, humanly. Unless you have the, the motor functions of a god. Breaking counter throws are going to be either accidental, or you have to be a god. You have to be a god to react quickly enough to break it at 5 frames. So that's the one negative thing that I do think about command throws. So they had to up the window for counter throws, at the least for counter throws. And this is the biggest thing also. Another big thing about Nina is that she loses out in some moves that tend to have counter hit properties. The one that I found was that this counter launches, right? This goes into a crumple state. But in Tekken 8, it doesn't do that anymore. It does like a minor crumple state, but it doesn't give you anything else. It just gives you a lot of plus frames, so you can kind of mix them, kind of. That's basically it that you can get from that move. Not that it doesn't crumple state. It still crumple states in Tekken 7 and Tekken 8, but this doesn't bound to Tekken 8 anymore. So this move is only used to be used as a counter. Can't even key charge. This is only used for crumple stating. It's only used for counter hitting the opponent in Tekken 8. So you can still get a combo going, just you don't get a bound from it. What else? I think that's really it that I know of about her counter hit properties. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I just don't remember specifically. So that's about everything, I think. Oh yeah, this now. So Butterfly 1+2 is gone, but the guns are in. So she doesn't have this. She doesn't have this move anymore, which is used a lot in her staples in Tekken 7 to bound a target from butterfly looping, or just from doing it from, just for whatever regular combo you want to go for. So, and do that. So you don't have that anymore in Tekken 8. They removed it. So this is why I was talking about in one of my videos that Nina doesn't seem to be as heavy when it comes to doing the butterfly loops anymore, because this move, which is usually her staple move to use for extending her butterfly loops and then getting the bound, it's not a thing anymore. But then again, somebody in my comment section did state that you can opt to use an alternative move, and the alternative move you can use to bound from doing the butterfly loops was back 1+4. And you can actually make it work in the butterfly loops, but that's why I also say that the butterfly loops change slightly. They have become a little harder to do in Tekken 8, only because of the fact that you can't do the 1+2 anymore. And the reason why is that if you do any of her wall standing 1, quarter circle forward, neutral 1, will go into her kiss shot if you were to press 1+2. It doesn't go into anything else. I mean, you might even accidentally do this from her butterfly loops, and if you were trying to go for this move right here to go for the bound. So this might make it slightly harder to do the butterfly loops with Nina if you were to try to attempt them in game. So that's the one negative thing that I do find. I do like this move. I do like the double slaps that she does. It looks cool to me. But I also do like the guns. So it's like I would have liked it that they would have given me the option to do that slap, right? And do it from a different command, at least. So you have two options. You can either go for more wall, pushback. So you can push the enemy further away from you and you can then use your guns. Or you can go for the 1+2 butterfly to get the bound. At least that, in my opinion. But you know what? It's whatever. I do like the guns. Would I pick one or the other, the 1+2 butterfly or the guns? I still prefer the guns. I think it's cool that they changed her to be this gunslinger type of character. She's still very much the Nina that we all know, just that she now has guns. So I think that's actually it. That's all I can really say about this topic on hand, about the Tekken 8 CBT. I don't really have a lot of negative thoughts on the game, really, besides how I sound about the things that I mentioned in game. The heat dash, I really do feel that they need to revert it back to where it was in the CNT. What else I can really say? That's it, really. The overall changes to Nina, I like the changes to Nina, the health things system in the game, the fact that you can gain health back, but of course the whole chip damage thing, a lot of people don't like it. I, for one, am kind of mixed with the chip damage and the white health, but the fact that you can gain back the health back with either using the heat state or attacking the target anyways, I think it's, it depends on you, how you feel about it. I, for one, am somewhat okay with it, The overall, combat changes, how some moves now bound immediately instead of just going into a launch, I'm fine with it as well. It's something new. If you don't like it, it's fine. I, for one, don't mind it. And yeah, that's it, really. That's all I can really say about the CBT. The game is phenomenal. I enjoyed it. They definitely just have a little bit of tweaking to do in the game to perfect it. And, even if when it does release and there's still some things that they haven't done to fix the problems that people have been giving them feedback for, whatever new update that they will release will probably fix it then anyway. So Tekken 7 has been in a good state right now, even though people still are kind of wanting something else, some new, a new patch. But I really think that at this point, let's just wait for the release to come out. Right? I think that's it. Let's just wait for the release to come out, and then we'll see how the game is like. And if the game is still the same like it was a CBT, then hopefully they'll listen to us now after the release. But I doubt that's going to be the case. They will do some changes to the CBT, perfect it a little bit more, make it better. And yeah, I think the game is heading in a good state. So whether or not, guys, I'm glad that you guys listened to me. I am sorry that I rambled too much. This was probably this is almost an hour-long video, so it's probably gonna be an hour-long video. There will be not a lot of editing being done, so I'm just gonna leave it like that, I guess, more or less. So, guys, thank you for watching. If you like what you watch, subscribe, like the video if you want to like the video. If not, you know what to hit. And yeah, see you guys.